Hey there, Shrine Runners! Hello, and welcome to the Fox Shrine. I'm Araxis, your host, and today we're going to be playing Please Be Happy. Hey there, Callista. Hope you're doing alright. Have to forgive me a little bit for the audio. I'm in a different house right now on my laptop. I do have my normal microphone, but like this is a fairly big room, so there's probably going to be some like echo and stuff in here, unfortunately. But please bear with me, okay? Hey there, TVPG. Yeah, this is indeed a happiness-free zone. Happiness is free for everyone who shows up. Speaking of, let us get into the game, shall we? Alrighty then. Turned that one around on you, didn't I? Get wrecked. Alright. So, let's get things started.
Ooh, I needed that break. Back to it.
I didn't have a break, though. That's not what I meant, and you know it. Let's load the game. Not long after the sun went down, it started to get pretty cold. Honestly, I'm feeling pretty cold right now as well. I'm like wearing my jacket right now. I've got the heater on, but as I said, this is a big room, so it's not exactly reaching me, unfortunately. Clouds came in out of nowhere, and so did the wind. I find myself sitting in the windowsill, looking out before I go to sleep for the night. It's cozy in here, and I have plenty of extra blankets if I need them. My breath fogs up the window, but the cold stays on the other side. Up on Mount Victoria, though, in the trees and valleys, it must be pretty miserable out there. I wonder where Silva is, and how she deals with the rain. Does she make a hole and burrow underground like I used to? Or maybe she finds somewhere dry to sneak into, like an empty shed or abandoned house. She's rude and abrasive, hasn't said a single nice thing to me. I hope she's safe anyway. As the only other Gumito I've met, I can't help but care about her. Just a little. I doubt she feels the same way about me, but that's okay. I wouldn't either in her shoes. Still, I know how bad it feels to be stuck out in the cold, with everything turning into mud around you, shivering under a tree that blocks most, but not all, of the rain. Yeah, and then the rain collects on the leaves and then drops down in a big drop on your head or something like that. Wherever she is, I hope she's warm and dry. I wonder if that's the first time someone's wished that for her. Maybe. The next day, the rain stopped, but it's still gross and wet outside. Dreary, as Aspen put it. Still, it's as busy a day as I've ever seen at the library. My main job is stopping people at the door and getting them to wipe the mud off their shoes before they go in. I care a lot about it, because my secondary job is cleaning up mud off the carpet. Yeah, that sounds annoying. Cleaning mud off the carpet. I have a feeling that someone needs to hire more staff around here. The door swings open and a big cyclops stomps in, looking around.
Hiya! Welcome to the library. Wipe your feet before you come in.
Pardon. I won't be here long. I don't mean to get in your way. I'm just looking for a friend.
Who's your friend?
Oh, no one. I'm sure he'd said he'll be here, but I don't see him. I'll try again later.
Alright, fair enough. Have a good day.
Oh, okay. Good luck.
Thank you. And I do apologize if I got any dirt on your floor.
I wonder what sort of accent that is. Apologizing all the way back out the door, the Cyclops leaves as quickly as he came. Yeah. Well, just because Cyclops have a reputation in myth and legend as like being hulking brutes and all that, doesn't mean that they have to be hulking brutes. Which I like that they sort of had there, having an interesting accent, sort of like a high, sort of like lilting accent. Rather cute. The doors stay shut, which gives me a minute to find some fresh towels and rags. Once the entryway is as tidy as I can get it, I sit down behind the desk to work on my reading and writing. Oh, I've started watching the English dub of Dungeon Meshi because, well, I finished the Japanese version. And I was like, you know what? Like, the whole season's out. There's not going to be another season for a bit. I want to watch it again, and I've heard really good things about the dub. And it's a really good dub. If you're hankering for more Dungeon Meshi, and you've only watched one version, watch the other version. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. It isn't long before the door swings open again, but it shuts before anyone enters, and I can hear grumbling from outside.
Come on, Pippa. At least hold the door.
I'm protecting the notebook. You get the door. Here, let me.
Is it, 3 gnomes in a trench coat? You know, gnomes are welcome here. Also, children, you don't have to do the whole adult thing. The poor door pops open one more time. 3 kids in matching uniforms trudge in. The Nui. 2 of them, including one carrying a notebook who must be Pepper, look around in awe while the other girl approaches me.
Hello there, miss. My name's Cello.
My name's Violin. How you doing?
My friends and I are here in New Zealand for a class trip, and we're supposed to research and put together a project on a special place in Wellington.
How about Mount Victoria?
We were hoping you might have some suggestions for where to start. Hey, I'm Miho! But, I'm not the best person to ask, really. I've only lived here for a couple months. But I know a couple people who might be able to help. One of them's at work right now. The other one also lives here at the library, but she's asleep right now.
Very helpful, Miho.
Did you say she lives here?
Yes.
And did you say also? Armand, Pippa, please. I'm sorry my 2 friends don't know how to not be so nosy. It's fine, it's fine. Julie, she's the one who owns this place. And I both live here. I have a room upstairs.
I live here now.
That sounds like it would be too good to be true. Think about it. You'd have all kinds of books around for inspiration.
It's not that. That's not all that it's cracked up to be. I can barely read.
Or just for reading? It'd be impossible to get bored in a place like this.
You'd be surprised. But you guys aren't the first ones to say that.
Hello, Jasper. One of the best things about staying over here, I've got a kitty with me. He's going over to the window. He wants to go out onto the balcony. Give me a moment. I'll just let him out on the balcony. Yeah, Jasper is my mum's cat. He's a ginger cat. He's cute and sweet. Not as dumb as other ginger cats have reputations for being. I like it. He's nice. Okay, yep.
Is it alright if we look around?
It is a library, you know. They're meant for looking around.
It's still polite to ask.
Yep, it's fine. Let me know if you need help finding anything.
We will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
The noisy pair head off to browse the books. Though they seem like carefree kids, I can tell that they're handling the books with respect, as Juliet would say. And with the fact that they have nothing but praise for living in a library indicates that they certainly care about books, right? Quite possibly avid readers. The third girl, Cello, stays by my desk.
Ms. Miho? Since you're new here, would it be alright if I asked you a few questions about your experiences?
An interview. She also has a notebook with her, though it's smaller than Pippa's. It reminds me of the one that Aspen always carries with her.
Sure, I don't mind. But like I said, I don't know much about Wellington or New Zealand at all.
That's okay. It's why I wanted to ask.
Now, I see where Cello's going with this. It's good to get the opinion of a newcomer.
I also haven't lived in Amarina for very long. I'm not even from the underworld. My family and I just moved there, so I don't know it the same way Armand and Pippa do. I hope that didn't sound weird.
I know what you mean. Don't worry. I'm not from the underworld either. Go ahead, ask away.
Thank you.
Takes a seat in one of the chairs next to me, tail curling around one of the legs.
Is there anything you wish you'd known before you came here?
Yeah, you and me both, Miho. Looking out the window, see my answer.
I wish I'd known how rainy it was going to be. I wasn't prepared for it at first.
Do you not like the rain? I love it. It reminds me of being home in the ocean.
Under the sea. She flaps her tail enthusiastically.
I wish it would rain every day. That was one of the hardest things to get used to when my family moved on shore to Amarina. It's so dry, even with the canals.
How's the audio of the game itself? Just want to make sure that that's doing okay as well.
Is there anything that makes this city different from others you've been to? Or anything you miss?
Game audio is fine. Excellent.
It's hard to say. I've made more friends than I have anywhere else.
Also, you weren't trying anywhere else, so maybe not the best metric.
Maybe it's something about the people. Everyone I've met has been really friendly. So, there's not too much that I don't have here.
Oh, that's good to know. It's not always easy for me to talk to people, so I've been worried about doing this report.
I'm the same way. I think you're doing just fine.
Hey there, Kuro. How you going? And she's in school.
Thanks, Ms. Miho. Did you ever have a project like this when you were in school?
Well,
I never went to school.
I didn't really go to school, so to speak.
Were you homeschooled?
Ha ha ha! No!
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I just have one more question. Do you have a favorite place in Wellington so far?
Yes, she is, Kuro.
My favorite place. Hmm.
I'll do what we usually do and save over here at a choice. And personally, my favorite place is the library. I like books.
Right here at the library. It's where I can relax, have a meal, or take a nap.
Admittedly, it's also where she works, which not so good, but take that out of it and the library's great.
Being out in the city is fun, but nothing beats being at home.
I like being at home.
That does sound really nice. I think it's hard to feel like you belong somewhere until you find a special place for yourself.
After writing down all of my answers, Cello puts down her pen.
Maybe that's the problem. No matter what, it's going to be hard for us to write if we don't see anything for ourselves.
Well, we've, in terms of lifespan, our biggest experiences are with vampires, which legendarily are immortal because they're undead, and with Gumiho. And a lot of legends regarding fox spirits also mention their long life. You know, like living for hundreds and hundreds of years, for example. All sort of like every century is an extra tale and whatnot. Admittedly, not as familiar with Gumiho as I am with Kitsune. But as far as I know, that's a trait that persists along a lot of sort of East Asian, Southeast Asian, like fox spirits and the like. So
Thanks for answering all my questions. We're going to be here all week, so we'll probably come back with more.
Anytime. Good luck with your project.
Thank you. I'll go make sure my friends aren't causing any problems either.
and they've knocked over a bookshelf. They're not, luckily, and after a while, all three of them leave the library again.
Nice kins.
Yeah. Alright. So, we are going to go to the library. Save the game here at the map. I don't really need to, there's only one choice, but let's do it. Hiyo! Thank you very much for the subscription. I do appreciate it. And I'm still proud of that stream title that I had. It is compulsory to be happy. Mandatory. Those who are unhappy will be made to be happy. Alright, here we go. Later that day, while I'm working on my writing worksheets, the door opens, and I glance up to see another kid entering the library. This time it's Tommy, accompanied by his dad.
Hey, me! See any cool bugs lately?
Nope, don't think so. Have you?
And if pampering does not work, then we will ensure that we will have our best experts investigate what it is that is causing their unhappiness and rectify it.
Yeah, I saw a hoo-hoo beetle. I couldn't catch it, though.
What is a hoo-hoo beetle? I want to look this up. Hoo-hoo. Hold on. Hoo-hoo beetle. Alright. I Kinda looks cool. A bit like a snake egg or something. Okay. Oh, let's sit up straight and have a drink. There we go. Woohoo! Woohoo!
Oh, that's really neat.
I don't even know what that is.
So you're the famous Miho I keep hearing about, huh?
I'm Miho. I don't know about famous.
You're a legend in our households, that's for sure. I've heard all about you from Tommy and Gwen. I'm Elijah, by the way.
I'm Miho.
Well, you already know who I am. We've met before, though.
Have we? I hear that's easy to forget.
Tommy waves a hand to get our attention before we start talking too much.
I'm gonna go look for more spiders again. Bye!
Don't cause any trouble now, okay? And don't touch anything that's gonna bite you back.
That is important, especially when you're looking for spiders. I don't know how many bugs could be left in the library at this point, but I don't stop Tommy. I know he's pretty harmless, and that I don't need to worry about him. Once Tommy and Gerby leave, I turn my attention back to Elijah.
Anyway, we met each other a while ago at the Botanic Garden. I caught a bug by accident and Tommy wanted it.
Oh, so that was you, was it? I was trying to remember who we were with. So wait, that means that you're the one who can see Tommy's friend Gerby, right?
Right.
Yep, I can see him right now with Tommy.
The Fable is next to Tommy like always, helping him search for their eight-legged prey. When he hears me say his name, he gives me a jolly wave like Tommy did. As long as the spider isn't as big as a bin lid, we should be fine, right? No! No! Tiny spiders can be dangerous. Like, think of like redbacks or black widows or something. They're tiny, and they're dangerous. Funnel webs aren't as big as bin lids, and they're dangerous. Chances are the ones that are as big as a bin lid are less dangerous, because they'll be more likely to overpower their prey with like their strength, rather than needing to envenomate them. Trigger and Fuzzy. I'm not mad, alright? I'm just explaining arachnids to you.
Huh.
Although Elijah's staring at the same spot I am, I can tell that all he sees is empty space. Elijah pulls out a pen and notebook from his pocket, like I've seen Aspen do. He clicks the pen, writing mode. Good thing you have this stream on mute. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just explaining arachnids. This is important.
What's he look like, if you don't mind?
Looks like a giant flower. Like sort of like the bulb of it, and it sort of like stretches out, or maybe a shrubbery, perhaps. I'm not yelling.
He's got a white face and body with purple flower petals on his head and shoulders. And some green leaves for his hair. He has eyes but not a mouth. And he floats.
Nodding, Elijah writes down everything I said.
That's exactly how Tommy described him. Wow.
Meow? Meow? Yeah. How did you go in, Jasper? Going back inside? Just playing with the cat. He's really fluffy. Just gotta go close the door, okay? Give me a moment. Alright, I've returned.
Why didn't you think he was real? There's all kinds of Fabled, you know?
Yeah, but we can see the other Fabled, right?
I know. It's just. Did you have an imaginary friend when you were younger?
I shake my head.
Well, I did. And Tommy's the kind of boy who would have one too. Not that Gwen and I thought that was a bad thing, of course, but since no one else could see him, we thought he was just pretend. Hearing he's real is still a shock.
Across the room from us, Tommy's creeping around on tiptoes. Kirby floats high above, using his aerial position, yet a better view.
I'm glad, though. Real glad. In fact, that's why I'm here. I want to try and see if I can find anything in the books about a fabled like him.
That sounds like a great idea, Elijah.
Not sure why you're able to see him either. Other fabled haven't been able to. You're the first person I've ever met who can.
Friends.
Unless I forgot them too.
Hmm.
I need to write that down.
Yeah, writing is important. Elijah's pen scratches against the paper. In the quiet library, I can hear the sound clearly. Elijah seems pretty casual and relaxed. And so, I feel like I can ask him a question that's been weighing on my mind. One that I know isn't exactly polite to ask.
Hey, can I ask you something?
I'm an open book.
Why are you and Gwen getting divorced? I mean, I've talked to both of you, and you seem like you get along.
I mean, just mutually incompatible. You can get along with someone you're divorcing. The scratching abruptly stops. He taps the pen against the edge of his notebook a couple of times while he chews his tongue.
Because people just change. Sometimes in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't get me wrong, she's still one of the best people I know.
Mm-hmm.
We're just better off not being together.
Yeah, it's like one of those friends that you have that you can't live together with. Like, they're still your friend, but well, you can't live together with them.
It hurts, but if we'd stayed married, it just would have hurt more. Eventually, you have to rip that bandage off.
No fault marriage. Sorry, no fault divorce. No fault marriage. What's that?
It's for the best for all three of us. I mean, Gwen works her butt off for him too. Me and her both still have the same goal, and that's to do right by our kid.
That seems rough for Tommy.
Yeah, so don't stay together for the kid. Alright? Just because you have kids, and you're not getting along with your partner, doesn't mean you should stay together with your partner. It is much better to separate if things aren't going well.
Yeah, that's the hardest part. We're all still getting used to it, I think. You know what they say about time healing wounds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like as Elijah said earlier, just over here, if we'd stayed married, it just would have hurt more. Like they might have been able to separate as friends here, with like lots of respect for each other. But imagine if they had have stayed together. What would their opinions be like in a year or two? They might not have been able to have such a clean separation then. It would have hurt all of them. I'm not saying that sometimes you can get over your problems. Some people go to see like marriage counselors, and maybe it's a problem that you're able to work on together, and you find out that you're able to sort things out. In which case, yeah, fine to stay together. But if not, there's nothing wrong with separation. Marriage does not have to be forever. Hell, like putting like a word like forever like on it is, well, that's just sort of like setting up like false expectations, really. How many things are truly eternal, right? The sun is not truly eternal. The universe is not eternal. People underestimate how long forever is.
Well, I'm glad he's got a friend after all. Thanks for letting him play here too. I hope he's not too much trouble.
Nah, if he was, I wouldn't let him come back.
Elijah laughs.
That's good to know.
I just realized his his top, like it's the same style as Emiya Shiro from Fate Stay Night, with like the solid body and the different colored solid sleeves.
I'm gonna go get a start on that research. With any luck, you'll see me again soon with a few books to check out.
Good luck.
So many of the people I know do research. Never realized that was such a popular hobby. Just wait until you discover Wikipedia. After a while, Elijah returns to the desk like he promised, with a couple books in his hands. One of them is so thick, even Aspen would think twice about trying to read it.
Alright, I only skimmed through these, but they seem promising. So I'll take them home and have a look.
All the best. Let me know what you find.
I managed to find a picture of another fabled who looks kind of like what you were describing. It seems like they're not from the underworld, so there's not a whole lot known about them. Would you mind if we keep in touch? Gwen tells me that's the way to not forget you.
That's absolutely fine. Also, show me a picture. I can let you know the differences.
Sure, that's fine. Just call me in the morning or night.
And within 24 hours. Already swapping numbers with a lot more people than I expected. Probably more than Juliet herself even expected. This time, as all of them leave, Yobi comes over and lands on the desk in front of me. He waves his petals at me before spinning in a circle like a top. Then he bows and hurries off after Tommy. Yobi's cute.
Another fabled from somewhere else.
Gerby may be a mystery, but for Tommy's sake, I'm glad he's around. Then it turns out that Gerby is the harbinger of the apocalypse. And Tommy, the Antichrist.
Whole day to ourselves, finally! This has been one of the busiest weeks of my life.
All right. I won't invent dark stories for Tommy and Gerby.
Mine too. But in a good way.
Of course. The best way.
Alone, with just each other in the library, Aspen slides her chair closer so she can kiss my cheek.
What do you want to do today? The world is our oyster.
You gonna go eat oysters?
Oysters. Wanna get lunch?
We just finished breakfast.
Yeah, and after breakfast is lunch.
It's never too early to start thinking about lunch.
Laughing, Aspen stands up and offers me her hand.
It's a little early for that, but I could do with some fresh air. Care to join me for a walk?
Sure. I'll go anywhere you want.
Her hand squeezes mine as we step outside into the daylight. Everything feels different and new when I'm with Aspen now. Something as simple as walking down the hill from the library, something I've done almost every day for months now, feels more special with her next to me. I had been expecting to fall in love. I had been expecting falling in love to be harder, or something I have to push myself to do. I'm surprised by how easy it is. Like a dam that had been holding back a river since I let myself open up to the possibility of being in love. It's come naturally. Simply existing around her feels nice. I meant it when I said that I'd go anywhere she wanted.
It's been a while since I've seen the ocean. How about a walk to the waterfront?
Sounds good. That's where the oysters are, after all.
He's right.
Not quite what I was thinking, but close enough. Let's see if I can remember how to get there.
Oh, I know the way. Want me to lead?
By all means.
I take us towards Mount Victoria and the beach. Other people smile or nod or wave as we pass them by. Sometimes the word of greeting, too.
I can't believe you've only been here a fraction of the time I have, but you already know your way around so much better than I do.
Want to know why? Because reading all the time.
I used a lot of that time to learn. Besides, navigating is second nature for me. I can do it without trying.
I'm glad, because I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned, but I'm terrible with directions myself. It's a good thing you offered to lead, because I was about to take us in the other direction.
You know, this is where you bring out your phone and pull up a map.
That would have been fun too. Would have been a surprise for both of us.
Yeah, it's not getting lost. It's called going on an adventure.
Yes, and for whatever poor person whose yard we wander into.
Don't worry. That's something else I'm good at. Not getting caught in people's yards.
Maybe I'd be better at it than navigating, at least. Do you ever miss it? That life, I mean.
Nah.
She glances at me in surprise.
That was awfully quick. You didn't even have to think about it.
I've thought about it a lot, actually. Almost all the time for a while. But even though there are things that I miss, there are too many things that I have now that I couldn't give up. Like this.
I stop walking for a second so that I can kiss her cheek, like she did for me this morning.
Very true. You better not give that up.
Do it again.
Still, you've got to avoid things like going to work or paying bills and all the other little things that most people wish they could run away from.
I mean, thieving is work as well.
People like you?
Absolutely people like me. I first fell in love with reading because it was an escape from the real world. A distraction from being alone, or sad, or anything else. Even if I couldn't live an exciting life, at least I could experience one through someone else's eyes and words.
Tell you what. let me take you on an adventure. I will show you one day in the life of past Miho. You're stealing.
In those stories, there were often characters who remind me of you. Going wherever they please, doing whatever their hearts tell them to. Having wished so desperately to go from my normal, boring life to one of adventure, I would certainly understand if you ever wanted to go back to it.
I shake my head.
You've got it all wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What you just said about going where I want or following my heart, I'm doing both of those things right now.
We're not too far from the water, but we're even closer to Mount Victoria. Looking up towards its top, I have an idea.
Do you mind if we go up the mountain a little bit? I want to show you something.
I will show you the world. Yeah, but you're back already. Want to go back out on the balcony? All right, give me a moment. Cats. Am I right? Although they're cute. Okay.
The mountain? I'm not exactly dressed for hiking, or built for it.
It's alright, I'll carry you.
That's fine. It's not a hike. It's pretty easy to get to.
Alright, well, I'm up for it. Lead the way. Again.
We take the regular trail up towards the top. But before we reach the summit, I'll lead us off the path.
This way.
I can see the curiosity on Aspen's face, but she doesn't question me. It'll be easier to just show her anyway. This is where I used to live. It's slower as a human than as a fox. But it doesn't take us long to reach our destination.
Ta-da! Here we are.
And this is... where?
Home sweet home. Or at least it was.
My den is in even worse condition now than it was last time I came. I actually had to spend a moment looking for the exact spot. Once I find it, I move aside some of the brush that's built up over the heap of mud.
This was my den. I lived here until Juliet let me move into the library. I buried food that I stole in the ground to save it for later, so everything was at least a little dirty. And when it rained, my ceiling would turn into my floor. Still, it was one of the nicer dens I've made, if I do say so myself. And I've made a lot of dens.
Still like your adventure, Aspen?
But now that I've had my own bed, pillows and stuff, it'd be hard to sleep in a hole in the ground again.
Looking around, Aspen nods. He picks up a branch that's fallen halfway into the collapsed burrow.
I do love what you've done with the place, though. Ceiling on the floor, or not.
Well, if you ever need a break from your apartment...
We both laugh, and I hope that Aspen believes me. The same way that she feels about me, I feel about her. He paces around a little bit, exploring the area. Not that there's much to see. Eventually, she returns to my side.
Thank you for showing me all the same. Even if it's better, I know it can't be easy to just turn your life around 100%.
True.
There are things I miss sometimes, but trust me, I like what I have now way more. If I didn't want to be with you, I wouldn't be. I'm really good at running away from things I don't like.
Yeah, just take 24 hours and then you won't remember a thing.
I'm not going anywhere.
I have seen that for myself. It's true.
Exactly. So I mean everything I say to you. Everything.
Jasper's come back inside. I'm gonna close the door because there's a little bit of a breeze coming in. It's cold. Alright, I am back. One of the only downsides of VTubing, I would say, is that I can't hold the cat up to the camera. Everything else, positive. Everything else is great. But I can't show off the kitty. Otherwise I would. And I suppose I could, like, try to get, like, one of those setups that, some, like, other streamers have where they've got, like, a pet cam or something like that. But that's just not gonna work. Especially for a temporary thing like this. Oh well. Yeah. I don't mind at all, but standing with her next to what used to be my den, it feels like a strange collision of my past and present. It's taken some getting used to, and there are still things that surprise me or that are tough to deal with in my everyday life. When I dug this hole, I never would have guessed it would be the last time. Before Aspen and before Wellington, I never had anything else to go back to. But being here, seeing what I did leave behind, I don't regret that life. But I don't miss it. Every day is better with Aspen in it. And Juliet as well. I just have to do my best to make sure that's true for them, too. Judging by the way Aspen holds my hand as we go back down the mountain, the way she laughs at all my dumb jokes, I feel like I'm doing an okay job so far. Alright. Oh, we have a variety of choices here. Where would we like to go? I will save the game here. It doesn't look like there's any people at any of these destinations. So, in that case, let us go to kind of like the botanical garden. Let's go there. I'm feeling a little aimless, so I decide to spend a day in the botanical garden checking out the plants at my own pace. My leisurely browsing rewards me with some weird flowers I've never noticed before. They're green and red and shaped so weirdly. Almost look like they have little mouths with teeth. I know you're not really supposed to touch things in botanical gardens, but I just want to see what those weird teeth petals feel like. I think we had this encounter before. Oh, yuck! It's trying to bite me! What the hell? I reel my hand away as fast as I can, relieved to discover that the plant has an extremely weak grip. As I do, it opens its maw back up, waiting for the next unsuspecting fool. Scary. Scary! I didn't know that there were flowers that could bite you. I'm gonna go look at some normal flowers now. I'll keep my hands to myself this time. Alright. We're going to Hai Tai Tai Park. Only a few days after I agreed to be in a play with Lena and Cyrus, it's time for the first rehearsal. Even though I'm not going to be as involved in it as they are, I still want to see what everything is like. I head to the park and find that the area has been set up to practice. When I get there, I find a bunch of people waiting, more than at any of the other activities I've tried with Lena. Most of them are reading through thick packets of paper, standing alone or in small groups. Lena's one of the people on her own, until I go and join her.
Hey, Miho! Ready to be a tree?
That's my impression of a tree.
As ready as I'll ever be. What about you? Are you nervous?
Me? Nervous? No way!
So that only happens when it comes to Cyrus, huh?
Maybe just a little. That's different, though. Hey, you should go find him and get a copy of the script, too.
It isn't hard to locate Cyrus. He's surrounded by a few boxes of props, snacks, and other supplies. Like Lena promised, or maybe threatened, he's been included in our check-in calls to make sure he remembers me. He nods when he sees me approaching.
Oh, it's my favorite tree.
Yep, it me,
Hey!
Miho.
I say I should get a copy of the script.
That's a pretty good idea. Let me find yours.
He digs through a bunch of copies of the script until he finds one with my name on it.
Here you go. I marked all the parts where you'll be on stage.
I flip through the pages. A few sections are circled in red pen. I'm glad he did that because it'd take me a long, long time to read through the whole thing on my own.
Feel free to relax for today. We'll do some dry reads and not much else.
Okay, I can do that.
We need to get into costume. I wander back to Lena, who's boldly speaking to no one.
But Mother, today is my birthday. It's not necessary to...
She stops, shaking her head.
Maybe a bit more whiny.
But Mother, it's my birthday!
Oh, Miho! Tell me which one you think sounds better.
She repeats the line she was just practicing twice. Just like when she made a drink compete with Aspen, I have a hard time telling the difference.
The second one.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so too.
Great.
In ballet, you don't have to worry about talking or sounding good. This is harder than I thought.
Have you done the ballet version before?
Nah, but I've seen others perform it a million times.
Ballet is hard.
I'm sure I'd end up doing it someday if I'd stuck with ballet.
Why'd you quit? I never really got the chance to ask before.
Lena looks off into the distance, seeming unusually serious. Her wings sag, and she bites her lip.
It's kind of complicated. mostly because my parents really wanted me to do it. Like, really wanted. Ballet or dancing or anything like that.
Ah,
But I'm just like, hello? Can you get any more cliche than a swan girl doing ballet? Or any of that stuff? That's one of the reasons I wasn't sure about saying yes to Cyrus.
I don't get it. What's so bad about that?
Swan Lake.
They're always like, do this, do that, it's tradition, it's expected, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to live my life like that, you know? I want to do my own thing.
So you quit ballet because you don't like it?
I do like ballet, and I'm good at it too. But if I kept doing it, it wouldn't be for myself. Does that make sense?
Oh, we've got our ad break here. So I will take a brief pause, and we'll be back in a few minutes. All right. See you in a moment. All right, we have returned. Let's get back into it, shall we?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. And I do get where Lana is coming from here. You do want your chance to sort of like be yourself. It's a little bit of a shame that she does like ballet, because you obviously don't want to be like cutting off your nose to spite the face. But yeah, when you are facing that external pressure, sometimes you feel like you have to be contrarian. It's a little bit sad. Like, maybe if her parents were a little bit less forceful about it, maybe she could have come to like ballet on her own terms. But But yeah. Hope she finds what works for her, though. It reminds me of some of the conversations I've had with Aspen and Juliet, where they encourage me to do things for myself. Lena's in the same situation, but from a different angle.
Anyway, now that I've said yes to doing this, I'll do my best. I've got to be the best actor in the whole performance.
That sounds more like the Lena I know. I let her practice her lines to me, sometimes saying the lines to other characters if she asks for it. Eventually, Cyrus calls everyone together to do some parts as a group. I sit on the sidelines and watch. Both Lena and Cyrus give it their all, just like Lena promised. Some of the other actors sound a little bored or unsure of themselves, but those two don't have any issues. After a while, Cyrus calls an end to the rehearsal. We all go our separate ways until next time. Lovely. Ah, the kids are back. The first guests of the day are the school kids from last Friday. They enter one at a time, struggling to the door this time. The girl I talked to before, Cello, comes over to my desk.
Good morning, Ms. Miho.
Morning! How'd your project go?
We're still working on it.
Some of us are. Some of us just want to wander around.
Wandering is nice.
It's not wandering if you have a destination.
She is right there.
Around isn't a destination.
They remind me of Lena and Aspen. Cello sighs and rubs her face. We must have to put up with this a lot.
Well, that's why I wanted to come ask for Ms. Miho's advice again.
Again?
Yeah, have you met her before?
What? She helped us just a couple days ago.
Did we stay in contact with Cello then? Pippa and Armand look at each other, confused. Even with her back to me, I can tell Cello is too. So used to my friends remembering me, I didn't even think of how weird it was for Cello to remember. Yeah? He should have forgotten. As strange as it is, it just feels like another mystery instead of a life-changing event. Another question I can't answer. In other words, not worth dwelling on. I just shrug at Cello and smile, same way I've seen Aspen do sometimes.
It's fine. It's just a thing that happens.
The young mermaid doesn't look totally convinced, but she nods all the same. I've also seen Aspen do that plenty of times too.
Well, if it's fine with you, I had another question to ask.
Ask away!
Last time, you told me about your favorite place. Are there any other spots in Wellington that you like?
Yep. She looks back at her friends, who are both distracted by some of the library decoration.
We're having trouble settling on a topic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know!
The girl, Pippa, hurries over to my desk. I didn't even think she was listening.
Do you think you could show us around town?
Pippa?
Through this job, I quit. For today.
That's a lot to ask, don't you think?
Now we get to be the tour guide. Now all three of them are at my desk.
She can say no.
She's working. She can't just get up and leave.
Actually, I can.
Actually...
There still aren't any other patrons yet. I don't think Juliet would mind as long as I come back.
I can't spend all day, but I can show you a couple places.
Really? Are you sure?
Yep.
All three of them look each... All three of them look at each other, then grin in unison. The first place I take them is to the top of Mount Victoria.
This was one of the first places I went to when I came to Wellington.
It's so beautiful.
Cello and Armand both stand at the railing, looking out at the city the same way I first did. I mean, thinking about it, while this is a cute scene and all, children, don't randomly go with a stranger. I wonder if they're feeling any of the same things I did. Pippa is right behind them, with a notebook in one hand and a pencil in the other. At first, I think she's writing, like Aspen would be. Walk a bit closer, I see that she's drawing instead. In a few quick strokes, she sketches out the shape of the railing and the slope of the mountain. A few scribbled boxes turn into buildings and houses.
Ooh, you're really good.
Pippa's head jerks up, surprised.
Thanks!
Despite saying that, her face turns red, she snaps the book shut.
Oh, look at this!
Both Pippa and I turn to see Armand and Cello standing by the binoculars. Cello puts her eyes to them, but then pulls back, frowning.
I can't see anything.
You need something called money to make that work.
Oh, here.
I fish around in my pockets until I find a couple coins and hand them to Armand.
Thanks.
He feeds them into the machine, and Cello's able to look around.
Whoa.
He pans slowly from side to side before letting Armand have a turn. He looks all over, bouncing the lens up and down.
Pippa, do you want to try?
For a second she considers it, but then Pippa shakes her head.
It's fine. Let's see something else.
Next, we walk down to the waterfront where the market is. The sea is as blue as I've ever seen it.
Oh, it would be nice to go for a swim.
Maybe for some of us.
Is there an ocean near where you guys are from?
Oh no, but there's a giant lake and tons of canals. Cello spends basically all of her time in them.
I'd rather take a boat than an airship when possible, even if it's slower.
It sounds like there are airships. It's not just Miho calling planes airships or anything.
You would have swam all the way here if you could.
So, there's just something about being on your own with the ocean, when you feel like you belong. What if we did our project about this beach?
I definitely don't belong in the ocean. Can we pick something else?
Isn't it Peppa Pig? I think she's a rabbit though, isn't she? I suppose the ears could also be pig ears, like long pig ears. Good catch, DBPG.
I'm with Armand on this one. It's the same as any other ocean.
You guys just can't see it, I guess.
I know she looks a little disappointed. Cello keeps going with a shrug and a smile. We take my usual path and end up back at Cuba Street. Like always, it's alive with all sorts of people doing all sorts of things. As we're walking, Anand suddenly stops dead in his tracks and points.
Are those movie cameras? Are they filming something?
Without waiting for an answer, he runs off towards the corner of the street that's fenced off.
Huh. That fence wasn't here before.
Armand comes to a stop against the fence and wraps his fingers around one of the links. Sure enough, there's a whole crew of people operating cameras and other gear.
Whoa! They really are making a movie.
What do you think it'll be about?
A few people sitting on a bench across the street are dressed in costumes, although it looks like they're taking a break. One of them carries a big star, and another one is messing with a necklace that he's wearing. Most of them have swords at their sides. I get the feeling they're filming Lord of the Rings. I think we have a timeline for when this game takes place.
Some kind of documentary, maybe?
Maybe.
A burly man with a short mustache notices us and stomps in our direction.
Hey, you kids, scram! Get out of here!
But we were just...
Yeah, I don't care what you were just doing. Move it!
Disappointed, all four of us head back to a more crowded part of the street. I glance over my shoulder to see if the guy who yelled at us is still watching. I know, right? It's not like we were getting in the way of your shot or anything like that. He is, and he makes a grumpy gesture at me and I turn back around. Sometimes, I don't know why I used to not like humans.
What a jerk.
I know, right?
Yeah. Sorry, Armand.
Oh, it's okay. I got to see a little bit at least.
His voice comes out kind of shaky, like maybe it isn't okay. But I don't think he'd want us to point that out. I might know a way to cheer them all up.
Okay, one more stop.
The familiar ring at the Bell House's door greets us as we walk in. I hold the door for the three kids who all trail in.
Hello, and welcome to... Miho?
Welcome to the rest of them too.
Oh, yes, of course. Welcome to the Bell House.
By the way, I adopted a bunch of children. I hope it's alright. Pippa looks from Aspen to me and then back.
Are you two dating?
You noticed real fast.
Huh?
How could you tell?
Pippa shrugs.
Just can.
Well, yes, we are. That's why I was rather surprised to see my girlfriend. You must be the students here from out of town, right?
Yes, that's right.
You already knew about us?
I heard a bit from Miho. Anyway, it's nice to meet you. What would you like to drink? It'll be on the house.
That means it's free.
Yes, Miho. I think they know what that means. Pippa gives me a strange look. Pippa, Armand, and Cello are from a previous project that the artist and writer worked on. Oh, that's nice. Was it another visual novel that they released? Or was it something more personal, or what? That's cute, though. I like it when people bring back, or bring things forward, I guess. Bring back old characters and the like. It's cute. I like it.
I know what it means.
The title for it is Cerulean. On itch, not Steam. Gotcha. So, are they from the same universe? Or have they just been brought over and converted into this universe? Aspen bites her lip to keep from laughing, but I can see it in her eyes. I smile too. The three kids place their orders and then go sit down, while I stay at the counter.
Babysitter for a day?
They wanted me to show them around town a little bit. I need to get back to the library soon, though.
Fair enough.
guided tour of Wellington from Miho. Huh, how can I sign up?
Tell me the day and time.
Just ask. Although, your boss might not be as happy about you skipping work as mine.
It's okay. My boss is asleep right now. She doesn't know a thing.
True. Maybe I should take that store position after all, so I can make my own hours.
Yeah, that isn't going to work out for you. That just means you're going to have to work like every single day or something like that. If you're doing your job right anyway.
Oh yeah, I forgot all about that. Are you still thinking about whether or not to do it?
Yes, it's practically all I can think about when I'm here. I have to give Regina an answer by next month, though.
At least you've got time, but yeah, it's a big decision.
I'll talk to you about it later, though. What would you like to drink?
Surprise me?
Alright. I'll be back in a bit.
Comes back with water. Are you surprised?
Okay. See you soon.
While she goes into the back, I sit down at a table in the corner with the 3 students. The cafe is fairly busy, with many of the tables populated by humans and fabled alike. Our area is relatively empty, though. Pippa has her notebook in her lap and looks at the drawing again, though she angles the book so no one can see it.
Thanks for taking us around today, Miss Miho.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure we should be able to settle on a topic after this, right?
Armand nods under Cello's withering glare.
Right.
Pippa, on the other hand, doesn't seem to notice. He's fully absorbed in whatever she's working on.
Pippa? Did you have any ideas?
No response. Sighing, Cello just rests her head on the table instead of trying to get Pippa's attention again.
I still think we should just make it about the ocean.
Pippa's kind of right, though. It's hard to make the ocean seem special. What about the movie crew? Just without that guy at the end.
But would that really be showing Wellington itself?
Maybe not.
Go to the museum! Go to Te Papa! For a moment, everything is silent in our corner, other than the scratch of Pippa's pencil. Then she smacks that down onto the table and turns her notebook around for us to see.
Look!
Even as a sketch, it's easy to identify the Bell House. There are a few changes like the plants and decorations, but it's still unmistakable. He's drawn it from the outside, the overhead view right beside it. In there are the tables, populated by people that I hope aren't supposed to be us.
Wow, Pippa!
May I see it?
Pippa reluctantly hands the notebook to Cello, who holds it so I can see better too. The Bell House isn't the only thing she drew, though. Part of the street outside is shown, including some sketches of statues and storefronts that we walked past. Across from her, Pippa waits anxiously.
I thought that a coffee shop might show it best. How all the different kinds of people exist here?
Makes sense.
It's a place that everyone loves, no matter where you came from. At least, that's what I was thinking.
I think that's beautiful.
Aspen's shoes click against the floor as she approaches us, with a tray balanced on her hand. Stopping at our table, she picks up the first of 3 drinks and hands it to Pippa.
Sorry, I couldn't help but overhear. But I often think of the Bell House the same way. It's something I love about this place. In fact, I first met Miho here.
Pippa's eyes go wide.
Destiny?
I've wondered the same.
Cello sets the notebook down on the table before taking a sip of her drink. Her eyes light up when she does.
Whoa, this is really good.
That's what I said. Armand nods vigorously in agreement.
I'm so glad you like them. Miho, I forgot your drink at the bar. Would you like to come get it?
You forgot it deliberately, didn't you?
Oh, sure.
Behind me, I'm pretty sure all three of the kids snicker amusedly. At the counter, Aspen hands me a steaming cup. I breathe in the scent and try to identify it, but I can't.
What's in it?
Coffee!
A surprise, remember? Tell me what you think.
I take a small sip, being careful not to burn my mouth. Once, a variety of flavors meld together. There's chocolate for sure, but not overly sweet chocolate. There's also coffee, but it's not too bitter. On top of all that, there's another taste. One that I recognize, but can't place. It's like a mocha of some kind.
I love it!
Phew, I was afraid I may have used too much chocolate.
Use more.
Nah, everything was perfect. But what's in it besides coffee and cocoa?
Not cocoa, real melted dark chocolate. We usually only put shaving on drinks, but this was a special one. The other flavor is lavender. Sometimes people don't like the flowery taste, but I thought you might enjoy it.
Lavender. All right. I do like the smell of lavender quite a lot. Not sure if I've had many things that have a lavender flavor to it. I feel like I might have, like, occasionally, here and there. Either way, I want that drink.
Definitely. What's it called? I'll order it again for sure.
It's called the Gumiho. I invented it just for you.
It doesn't have a name yet, actually. I'll try to think of one. In the meantime, I'll write down the recipe so I don't forget.
I take another sip, as good as the first.
May I try it?
No.
Of course.
I pass the cup to Aspen, who stares at it for just a moment before pressing it to her lips.
Wow, that is perfect. If I do say so myself.
She takes another sip.
Hey! Don't drink it all!
Chuckling, Aspen returns the beverage.
Sorry. I'll make my own on my break.
Is that soon?
Unfortunately not. In fact, I should get back to work before too long. If Lena catches me, I'll never hear the end of it.
No, you will not.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. She can go on and on and on.
Alright. I won't keep distracting you then. I should get back to the library. Although...
I look back at the kids. They were all hovering over Pippa's notebook as she sketches more.
It's fine, they can stay here. I don't think there'll be any trouble, and I'm sure it'll be easier for them to get back to their class.
You sure? Thanks.
Make sure that they know where they are.
Of course. Talk to you later?
Of course.
Alright. Let's save the game here. Over there. And where should we head this time? Let's head down Cuba Street, I think. It's a little hot today, so I sit in the shade of a shop's awning and enjoy the small bit of air conditioning that floats out the front door every time a customer passes through. It makes me think about how funny humans are. So determined to stay in one place that they'll build entire machines to blow hot or cold air if the weather isn't to their liking. In nature, you either adapt or move on. As a fox, I love the heat. Hot weather means lots of fruits and bugs to snack on. And lying out in the brambles and letting my fur get all nice and warm. But in this form, well, it's a little less efficient. I can't really pant the same way I can as a fox. Or rather, I can, but people would stare at me funny. Come to think of it, why am I even here? I'm gonna go run around as a fox for a while. That night, as I'm laying in bed watching TV, my phone buzzes in the windowsill, startling me. It's Aspen.
Hello?
Miho, I didn't wake you, did I?
Yes.
Nah, I was still up. But I thought you went to bed hours ago. Is everything okay?
I did, yes, and I'm fine. I woke up to get some water and saw that I had an email. And after I read it, I couldn't wait to tell you.
Ooh, did you get like an acceptance letter for your novel?
Are you ready?
Sure.
She clears her throat and gulps down some water before she starts.
Dear Ms. Benoit, we've read your draft and we're very impressed with what we've seen so far.
Excellent.
At the moment, it's a couple steps away from being what we're looking for, but we'd like to fix that.
Alright, yeah, they're definitely serious about this. Having an editor, very important. Doesn't matter whether it's your first novel or your 20th novel or anything like that. It's important. And they want to sort of like bring one on, work together with you in order to improve things. Yeah, you got this, Aspen.
One of our representatives will be in the Wellington area this Friday. Would you be available for dinner to discuss more? Best regards, Avery Frost, editor.
I bolt upright in bed, as if Aspen were here telling me in person.
Whoa! So they're gonna do it? They're gonna publish your book?
Not guaranteed yet, but it's a very promising first step.
Well, it sounds like there are still some details to be worked out, but...
Congratulations!
Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations! Congratulations! What? It's a good thing Juliet doesn't sleep during the night. I can hear her laugh through the phone, and I can't keep a grin off my own face.
Thank you. Thank you. Wait a moment, I'm not dreaming, am I?
Pinch yourself!
Nope.
Good. Lately I keep thinking that my life has been going far too well, and surely I'll have to wake up soon and find that none of it was real.
No way. Although, it sounds like maybe you should go back to bed.
Probably. I'm not sure I'll be able to fall asleep again, though.
Just do your best. Even if you can't sleep, the fact that you're being inactive and like in a rest position like means that like it's better than like staying up. Sometimes it's also good to have like a little bit of a walk around, like 5-10 minutes or so, and then go back to bed. That helps sometimes. Usually found myself doing that on like summer nights that are really hot. That sort of helps, like when your bed gets a little bit too warm, even though you've only got like sheets on or something. Yeah.
Wanna come over? Juliet's awake too.
She laughs again.
Tempting, but I shouldn't. Tomorrow, though, after I get off work.
Not in the morning?
We're gonna celebrate?
Damn right we are. Let's go somewhere, just the two of us.
Yeah.
Sure. Like where?
Let's go somewhere fancy.
Dunno. Figure it out when we get there.
I want to go someplace fancy. Like I want to treat myself my birthday. Yeah, do I want to go on my own though? I don't know. I'll think about that later. Like one of my friends said I should treat myself. But considering I'm always telling him that, like, hey, you need to stop working so hard, you need to do something for yourself. The fact that he's like telling me to do that, it's like, well, all right. I'd better not be a hypocrite about this, shouldn't I?
Of course. See you at breakfast then?
Mm-hmm.
Aspen yawns, causing me to yawn too.
All right. I get the message. Good night, Miho. I love you.
Love you too.
I love you too. Good night.
Settling back down into bed, I can't keep a smile off my face, even as my eyes get heavier. If anyone deserves some good news, it's Aspen. I'm so glad she can stop worrying so much now. Alright. Let's save the game. Over here. And... Let's go walk by the waterfront. The market is a buffet of interesting smells. Think of raw fish mixing with sweet foods in a way that might repel a weaker person. Not me. I'm on the hunt for something yummy and cheap when a woman waves me over to her table. Free samples! Free samples of our Korean corn dogs! Those are nice. I do like those. Korean corn dogs? I never saw such a thing when I lived in Korea, and beyond that, I've never seen a corn dog that looked like this. Mind you, the corn dog is sliced into smaller pieces for sampling, but it appears to be covered in cubes and some kind of powder. They're delicious! The potato bits are mixed into the batter like French fries, and it's topped with a little bit of sugar. The savory and sweet mix is really addictive. Far be it from me to turn my nose up at potatoes or sugar. Take one of the sample pieces and nibble at it, slow and careful at first, as I process the unconventional ingredient. Once I've had the chance to ponder it and realize it's good, I plop the entire thing in my mouth and chew with gusto. Good, right? Just for you, you can have one more sample piece. I know how hard it is to just take one bite. You always want more. I can't afford a full corn dog, so I accept the extra sample cheerfully and go on my way. Korean corn dogs. I'll have to remember them for the future. Damn straight.
It's even more gorgeous than I remember.
The grand entrance of the Botanic Gardens is pretty impressive. Decorated with flowers and trees and more. Even closer to the wilds I remember than Mount Victoria's forests are.
Of course, last time I was rather distracted by the circumstances.
Is that why you want to come back?
Yes, this time. I intend to enjoy it to its fullest.
After meeting up with Aspen at the Bell House, we took a bus to get here. It dropped us off at the same gate that Juliet and I arrived at last time. Hand in hand like always, we drift like bumblebees from flower patch to flower patch. Aspen stops to admire the plants, and I admire Aspen. Getting that email really seems to have cheered her up. There's a bounce in every step we take together.
What kind of flowers are those?
The pretty kind.
I have no idea. They're pretty though, aren't they?
They sure are.
Like a flower, when I saw Aspen for the first time all those months ago, I thought she was pretty. But the colourful petals at our feet can't actually compare to her. That rainy day in the library, I didn't even know I was there. I never could have imagined how our lives would intertwine from then on. It's everything we've been through since then. All the things I've come to learn and know about her that make her beautiful. We both talked about that day, and everything after a lot. Still, I don't get tired of thinking or hearing about it. Every day just makes me appreciate her more. Turning away from the flowers, Aspen sees me looking at her and tilts her head.
What are you smiling about all of a sudden?
You.
You!
Earning myself a kiss on the cheek, we resume our journey through the gardens. The winding road takes us past more flowers, through forests, across ponds. Everywhere you look, there's something new to see. For the most part, I let Aspen lead us, content to see whatever she wants to see. Even when that means standing around for a couple minutes while she reads the tiny words on the big signs. The sun begins to set, our walk getting gradually darker. Neither of us are in a rush to leave. When we round another corner, we reach a new area of the park that we haven't seen before. A small river runs along the path, and on one side is a large embankment. Trees with long, saggy branches run along the top, making it curving along a lot of it. Some of the branches glisten with water. Some sparkle with something else. I point to one, getting Aspen's attention.
Hey, what's that?
What's what?
That! She follows my line of sight, and then her eyes light up when she sees it.
Oh!
We both hurry over to where something small and blue hangs from one of the branches, glowing like a firefly. There are silky threads hanging from the trees too. They look kind of like spider webs, but softer.
Is it a fairy?
Not quite. They're glowworms.
I like those lollies. But like the also like sour then sweet flavor to them. She reaches a hand up, tapping the bright orb without touching it.
Oh, worms?
I eat those sometimes.
Yes. Look.
I look. Sure enough, there's a bug attached to the light. Well, maybe it's the other way around.
It's almost as pretty as the flowers. Are they magical?
No, just unique. Wellington is somewhat famous for them, in fact. There should be more nearby. Shall we look for them?
I didn't know that was a Wellington thing.
Sure. Let's go.
We follow the embankment, peering among the trees and dirt for another glimpse of light. There are other people around inspecting the same area as we are. We spot a couple isolated bugs, all alone like the first one we encountered. But for a while, that seems to be it. However, as the night begins to set in, the sun disappears behind the hills, it starts to change. Before our eyes, lights gradually appear as more and more glowworms take their places, like candles being lit in the dark. The blue-green webbing almost seems to hover in mid-air at parts, since we can't see the trees themselves as easily. Finally, we come to a part of the bridge that brings us both to a halt. Ooh, custom art. A big willow tree droops down, making a web of its own out of branches that even reach past other nearby trees. Glowworms hang from them like holiday lights. There are more here than we saw on the way combined. When we first arrived at the gardens, Aspen remarked on how gorgeous it was. Now, she's speechless. She takes a step forward, and then another, drawn like a moth to a flame. I stay at her side, impressed by the glowworms. unable to take my eyes off Aspen again. Her eyes wide and mouth agape, she is the most easy-to-read person I've ever met. The simple way she always wears her awe on her face and her heart on her sleeve, even when she tries to hide her feelings. To me, that's another thing I love about her. I've already seen it happen a few times. Aspen, who always tries to have the perfect words, finds herself at a loss for them so often. Everything she feels so much. Scary as that may have seemed at one time, as we became friends, and then more than friends, something I've come to admire. He says that meeting me was destiny, or that maybe she just got lucky. I don't know a thing about destiny. I don't know if the second part is wrong, or at least only half true. I'm the lucky one here.
Hey, Aspen?
Still entranced, she turns her head to face me, and I lean forward to kiss her. She got caught off guard a little bit there, didn't she? I'm used to not having the right words, or any words at all. So I hope I can say everything I want to with a kiss. Her eyes flutter shut behind her glasses. She smells faintly of coffee and flour. Her lips taste like love. I hope she knows just how much she's made my life better. Just by existing. Just by being her. We part, but just barely. Four heads together, she smiles. Light in her eyes brighter than the one around us.
What was that for? Not that I mind, of course.
Just because.
Just because. I was thinking about how lucky I am to be able to do that.
I see. In that case...
She kisses me again.
Just because?
Just because.
Because I love you. And so you'll keep doing that?
That's the easiest promise I've ever made.
Eventually, we walk away, letting some of the other searchers enjoy that spot. We follow the winding path through the garden some more, taking our time and stopping to admire anything that catches our eyes. There are plenty of those, not just the flowers and trees, plant-lit pathways and streams too. At the end, we leave from the gate we entered through, taking a shuttle back into town. I walk with Aspen to her apartment, before we part ways for the night. Holding my hands outside her door, she gives me one last kiss.
Thank you for a perfect evening, Miho.
It was your idea to go there. So, thank you.
It was only perfect because we were together, though. Just take the compliment, silly.
Yoink!
Fine, fine.
Smiling, Aspen steps forward and hugs me, enveloping me in that coffee and flower scent.
Well, shall I see you tomorrow then?
Yeah. I already can't wait.
Me either. Good night, Miho.
Good night.
With a final wave, Aspen disappears into her apartment. I make my way back to the library, feeling lighter than air. All right. Homewards. Save game. I've only been home for a little bit when I decide to step out into the night again. My last encounter with Silver didn't go so well, but it hasn't made me any less determined to talk to her. It's not just because of my magic and what she might be able to tell me about it. It's because I also want to help her. I know that I can't tell her that outright. Every passing day that I spend with Aspen or with Juliet makes me more confident in my decision to stay around Wellington. I don't expect things to go exactly the same way with Silver as they did for me. I hope that maybe someday she'll want to change too. Making my way to Mount Victoria doesn't take very long. Like last time, I changed forms and searched for Silver's scent, locking on and following it through the forest. I eventually find her in her two-legged form, sitting on a log with her back to me. For some reason, I'm surprised. I just assumed that she spent most of her time as a fox. I change forms myself. Somehow, I don't think she's noticed me yet. I'm not sure if I should call out to get her attention or what. I don't think she'd like being surprised, but there probably isn't any chance she'd be excited to see me regardless. Taking a step, I have my decision made for me. Snap of a branch under my foot gives me away.
Damn it.
Sure enough, Silver spins around, her eyes going from shock to annoyance as she sees me. She leaps to her feet in a fluid motion, while I hold up my empty hands to show that I'm not a threat.
Stupid dog. Learn to obey when you're given a command. I told you not to come back here.
Oops. Guess I must not have heard that part.
She did hear that part. I didn't bother to make a plan for how to convince her to talk to me, since she has a tendency to mess up any plans I try. She snorts in derision and transforms as she turns back away from me. In a flash, she's taken off.
Not this time.
I change forms and run off after her. She's tricky. Not just fast, she also darts back and forth, weaving around trees as she tries to get away. I don't let her. Instead, keeping her in my sight, even though she manages to stay ahead. The forested area isn't very big. She backtracks so much that it feels huge. If we were in our other forms, I'm sure she'd be shouting taunts at me, or obscenities. Instead, it's gravely silent, other than the soft sound of our paws on the leaves and moss. Silver eventually gives up on trying to confuse me, and instead puts on a burst of speed, pulling farther and farther ahead from me. Why is she so determined to run away? And why am I so determined to catch her? The first part isn't tough to answer, because running away is easy. I understand, because until recently, that was exactly what I would have done too. But the second part, harder to say. I push myself as well, trying to run faster like Silver. Hard though, and my legs are already aching. I have to start relying on my ears and nose, and not just eyes to track her. Suddenly, I see her again, not that far out of reach. When she spots me, I see her try to dash again. Only this time, she doesn't seem to be able to pull it off either. That's when I notice her limp. It's subtle, enough that I can only tell when I'm closer up to her like this. One of her back legs is definitely giving her trouble, and it's starting to slow her down. When it becomes clear I'm going to catch her, she abruptly halts, transforming back in a flash. I scramble to bring myself to a stop, and then change too, almost collapsing backwards onto the ground. My lungs feel like they're on fire. I stay on my feet. Silver doesn't move, her back still to me, even as I see her chest heave while she catches her breath. He clenches a fist, illuminated by the light from her bead.
Why? Why won't you leave me alone? I've told you to stay away. Aren't dogs supposed to be good at listening?
I ignore her. I couldn't give her an answer she'd accept anyway.
Why are you limping? Did you hurt your leg?
Silence. Not that I was expecting an answer myself. But then slowly, her fingers uncurl.
No, someone else did. Why do you care?
For the first time, there's less of a sharp edge to her words. For once, it sounds like a genuine question.
Because you exist, I guess. I've never met another Gumiho, but I feel like I know you. At least a little bit. We probably have more in common than you think. Or admit.
Pathetic.
I don't know if she's talking about me or not. Finally, she looks up and glares at me, staring right into my eyes. I'm not sure how I want to come across to her. Friendly? Trustworthy? Brave? Whatever we do have in common, she's also a total mystery. Even at my most alone, I was never as wild as she was. She is.
Fine then, I'll tell you. Listen well, dog. I won't repeat myself.
Folding her arms, Silver turns her back on me, looks up at the stars.
The forest I called home belonged to man, as all forests do in their minds. Every day, to live was to be in fear of their cruel weapons that could tear you apart before you ever saw them. All creatures of the forest are prey to sate man's hunger for violence. I learned to run, for there was no other choice but death. To hide from their stinking horses and craven hounds. Survive. Yet, for all my running and for all my fear, one day, I too found myself fleeing for my life, slabbering beasts at my heels. There was a crack as one of their weapons rang out, finding its mark in my leg. Despite the pain, I kept running for as long as I could before collapsing into the bush. I knew I was going to die, and there was nothing I could do about it. Nothing but quiver and dread, useless and pathetic. I thought I would choke on the fear. Instead, as the first of the hunters arrived, sadistic pleasure in their eyes, the pain in my throat became something else. In that moment, it transformed me. I was more than a pitiful fox. I became something greater, something powerful. In a flash, the fear came for them instead. They screamed the same way we foxes do, in agony and terror. The pain I felt was nothing compared to the euphoria of strength. It served me greater than fear had. And it was not only my blood that nurtured the forest that day. I knew that my wounds would heal in time, but that power would never leave me. They did, and it hasn't. Never again will I suffer a human to harm me, or anyone else.
Spinning back around, eyes shine in the moonlight.
Never again. I told you before that we are nothing alike.
she's wrong. I can see myself reflected in her harsh gaze. I could have been her so easily.
Well, what is it, dog? Have you finally learned to hold your tongue?
Something about her finally clicked. Something in her words makes sense. The way she tells me so much, even as she tells me to leave. The way she keeps asking for my thoughts. She desperately wants me to respond.
I'm sorry. All of that stuff that happened to you is terrible. I can see why you hate humans so much.
Her eyes widen and instantly narrow.
Oh, has a thought dared to enter that empty head of yours?
Do you want me to tell you when major choices are coming up? Feel free to do that, Callista. I save at all the major choices, at all the choices anyway. Yeah, I'm happy to be alerted to have some extra info on it. Anyway, I'm going to save the game here. We do have our ad, so we'll pause here for a moment, and we'll come back in a couple of minutes. All right, and probably see what that major choice is. All right. Actually, might need a little bit longer. Might take a little bit of a bathroom break as well. So, be right back. All right. Sorry about that. Let's get back into the game, shall we? And apparently we've got a little bit of a major choice coming up. Let's see how things go, shall we? Something related to like what we're going to do with Silver, maybe? I don't know. Makes sense, at least, considering a whole sort of like interaction going on between them. Alright, yeah, so.
Yeah. I'd probably hate humans too if I'd gone through what you did. Even though I didn't, I still spent most of my life trying to avoid them. And everyone else. Everyone but one person.
I pause, waiting for her to interrupt me, but she doesn't. It's a good sign, right?
I also got my leg hurt by humans back then. Back when I was a fox, I stepped on one of their traps and couldn't get out. I also thought I was gonna die. But instead, my person set me free. Even though they weren't my person yet. And they put a bandage on my leg and helped it get better. I'd probably still have a limp today if they hadn't.
Silver scoffs, but doesn't interject.
Until I came here and met Aspen and Juliet, I thought my person was the only one worth knowing, human or not. I didn't want them to talk to me either. But now, I'm glad they did.
I search her face, trying to get a glimpse of what she might be thinking or feeling. But her expression is as stony as ever. I could keep going. I'm not sure if it would be a good idea or not. I'm probably already wearing on her patience. Oh, alright. So this is our major choice, I'm guessing. Alright. So, what I'm thinking here, now Miho's had a few thoughts about Silver so far. She can't exactly, like, tell Silver what to do because, like, as she said, you can, like, lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. She can't, tell, like, Silver, like, hey, you should come to the city with me and, like, it'll be fine. Don't you worry. Like, it's all gonna be great. Like, Silver's absolutely gonna reject something like that. But Miho has also said that Silver is, like, she wants talk. She wants to listen. So, like, we could stop there. I'm not exactly sure what is the right option here, admittedly. However, Silver hasn't asked us to stop yet. So, I think I'm going to keep going. As I said, don't know if it's the right choice or not. But like we can always stop if she asks us to stop. So let's keep going. Since she hasn't cut me off, I decided to keep talking. Who knows when I'll have another chance.
You could try that too, you know. I could even introduce you to my friends.
Alright, that's definitely taking a leap. I'm not necessarily sure if she is ready for this, I admit. It might have been better to let her ask for this rather than offer it immediately. But like, I can also see why she would want to like make that offer, because it's also possible that he wouldn't be able to ask for that, even if it might be something that she wants, because like it is like actively like denying like all your past centuries and all that. Whereas if someone like makes that offer, it might be easier to accept versus it coming from yourself. Again, people are complicated. People work in different ways. It is hard to know what is right for each individual person. So hopefully this is the right option for Silver here.
I haven't told them about you yet. They don't have any idea you exist, but I'm sure they'd be just as nice to you as they were to me.
Okay, you're making sure that she knows that her secret is safe, so she's not threatened. That's good.
Not all people are bad, humans or fabled. There are good ones too. Just like there are probably good and bad Gumiho.
Yep, we are all individuals. All I get in response is a cold stare. Well, it's not like I really expected her to say yes. At least I tried. From the way she fidgets, I can tell we're getting near the point where Silver is going to decide she's had enough and run away. Before she can do that, there's something I have to know.
Hey.
What?
I never asked before, but what's your name?
She sneers, looking glad to have a reason to be thankful again.
I have no need for one. If I wished to be known by anyone, they wouldn't use a name.
Yeah, I used to be like that too. It's how I ended up calling myself Miho.
How clever.
Which is why I've been calling you Silver in my head, so I'll just keep doing that.
Pick something else.
Doesn't like the name, huh? Yeah, fair enough. I can work with that.
Huh?
Her response is immediate. I'd been expecting a do as you wish, or I don't care what a dog thinks of me. But I didn't expect her to have an opinion on my choice. Even Silver looks a bit surprised with herself, like she answered without thinking. She quickly forces back a stoic expression.
I mean, do as you wish.
If you tell me something else to call you, I will.
I don't care what a dog thinks of me.
They both, yeah. Yep. Nose in the air, he turns away from me and transforms, bounding off into the shadows like always. This time, I don't try to follow her. She always has to make a show of how little she cares. It took me until tonight to understand that means she cares a lot. For as detached and disinterested as she tries to appear, there are still weaknesses in her armor. Once again, I didn't really learn much about myself or my magic from this visit with Silver. But still, I don't think it was a waste of time. Also, I think we should work out a different name for her. She said to pick something else. Even if she corrected herself and said, I don't care, do as you wish. But we should think of a different name for her. I'm thinking Mittens. At breakfast the next morning, I'm still thinking about Silver and her story, and about how much it has in common with mine. I only half listen as Juliet and Aspen talk about a book they've both been reading. Instead, it's nice to just watch them enjoy being around each other. It's so easy to miss that when you're not looking for it. Of course, you can still miss out on other things. It takes me a moment to realize that Aspen's trying to get my attention.
Miho! Miho!
Miho! Shaking my head, I bring my attention back.
Miho! Anyone home?
I am an alien, looking to make contact. Bring me to your leader.
There is now. Just stepped out for a minute, you know.
Believe me, I know. I was just asking if something had happened to your bead. It looks brighter again.
Huh.
It does?
Oh man. It'd be embarrassing if Aspen noticed a change before I did. I tuck my necklace away from me so I can see it. Sure enough, glow is stronger than before. Still not as strong as Silver's, though.
I swear it wasn't like that when I went to sleep.
Maybe it changed overnight. Like your body, perhaps it needs time to process. Actually, I believe I learned something useful in that regard. I was able to get in touch with one of the curators from the exhibition you saw at Tepopa. I mentioned the painting of Agumio and asked if he knew anything about them, and he told me a very interesting myth.
Oh?
It says that not only is Agumio's bead the source of her magic, but it also requires more magic to sustain itself. Most Fable take their magic from the underworld's source, but for those who don't come from the underworld, such as Miho,
it has to come from somewhere else.
The power of love.
Right.
We're all quiet for a moment. We all come to what I'm sure is the same conclusion.
The memories.
Yes, I believe so. Every time someone forgets about you, I believe your bead retains that memory as a sort of power. There was a second part to the myth as well. Once it's accumulated enough, Agumio can take that magic and make it her own, becoming something even more than Agumio.
Something more? In what way?
A Chunho.
I've heard of that before. Both of them look at me.
Pardon?
Chunho. I know the word, but not how I know it. As if Juliet's explanation unlocked a forgotten memory of my own.
That's what I'd be if I swallowed the bean when it was ready. Tunnel, a sky fox.
I don't know what it means, but I know it's the next step in my existence. More than a Gumiho.
If you swallowed it, I suppose that makes sense, but it hardly sounds pleasant.
So if it's absorbing memories, then wouldn't it be, like, glowing less because it's absorbing less memories now that people are remembering? I don't know. Maybe I've misunderstood something here.
It isn't.
Removing my necklace, I inspect the bead yet again. The glow must be related to what Juliet was saying. That it's getting closer to being ready. I don't know if the rest of me is, though.
why now? I don't think that many people have forgotten me recently, but it started changing so fast.
Alright, here we go.
It's magic. Even as a boring old human, I can tell you that magic never works how you think it should.
Not just magic, but also myth. Myths tend to have some roots in truth, but are incomplete or warped by retelling. Trust your eyes and your heart, not just what Aspen and I find.
Right. Besides, who knows how much farther it has to go? It could keep getting brighter and brighter for a long time. I've seen... I'll see if it looks any different this time next week.
Yeah, no problem, Callista. Hope you sleep well. I'm probably only going for another half an hour or so. Maybe a little bit sooner if we get to like a good break point or something like that. Sleep well. I was about to mention Silver, but managed to catch myself. I want to tell Aspen and Juliet about her, but not yet. Not until I know her better myself. Not until I can convince her to meet them. And it could take even longer for Silver to change than for my bead. Although, now that I think about it, what does the brightness of hers mean? That her bead has stored even more magic than mine? Something about that doesn't feel right. Just be about an amount. It has to be something more. I wonder if even she knows what it is. There's one more big question too. One more big what if. By Skyfox, do they mean that we ascend and are no longer on this plane of existence?
If I do that, would it mean people stop forgetting about me? If my bead isn't there to steal the memories?
That would be very nice if so.
Indeed. I couldn't say, but I share Aspen's feelings, as I'm sure you do too.
Yeah, I do.
I lock the necklace back around my neck. The more I learn about my powers, the more conflicted I feel. I know that Aspen and Juliet mean well, but it's just not something they can understand. Even though Juliet has magic of her own, it's entirely different from mine. The conversation changes the recent events at the library in Bell House, and none of us mention anything else about magic or Gumiho for the rest of the morning. Whatever is going to happen with my bead, I have to figure it out for myself. Alright. We have Tommy again. Save. Yeah. And let's see what's up. Even though I'm preoccupied with thinking about magic, the morning goes by without any trouble. The library isn't very busy, so I finish my tasks quickly and then work on reading and writing. When I hear the door open, I don't look up, just call out a greeting because I'm halfway through a worksheet. But then, something floats into the edge of my vision to get my attention.
Gerby?
Gerby! The familiar fable twirls in recognition. Of course, Tommy's with him on the other side of the desk, but I don't see Gwen or Elijah.
Hi, me!
Me!
Hey there. What's up?
I'm looking for a super special bug. Do you want to help me find it?
Here in the library? I haven't seen any weird bugs.
Nah, it's not in here. It's in the woods. It's a special butterfly where if you touch it, you turn into a butterfly too.
Interesting. Tommy flaps his arms, imagining what it would be like to have wings.
I kinda like how I am already. Where's your mom at, though?
He frowned.
She's at her house. I told her I was gonna go, but I don't think she heard me.
Knowing Gwen, once she realizes Tommy's missing, she'll go in a panic looking for him. I doubt I could just make him go home, though. Guess that means I have to keep an eye on him.
Alright, I'll go with you. But I'm not gonna touch it if we find it.
Okay, yay! Did you hear that, Kirby? Me's gonna come with us!
Miho the babysitter. Gerby flaps his petals just like Tommy flapped his arms. I put away my things and then follow Tommy out the door. Before I go, I send a quick message to Gwen to tell her that Tommy's with me. Eventually, we reach Mount Victoria. It takes a lot longer walking with Tommy than it would take me on my own.
So, how do we find this thing?
We just have to look for it. It's got bright purple wings like Kirby, so it should be easy to spot.
I let him lead me around. Oh, hold on. I let him lead me around the area while he checks all the flowers and plants that he can. We see all sorts of other bugs, but not the one we're looking for. I keep half an eye out for the butterfly, but also watch to make sure Tommy doesn't touch something poisonous or bite by accident. While we're wandering around, I notice that the area we're in is kind of familiar. Gives me an idea.
Hey, Tommy. Wanna see something neat?
Is it a bug?
Nope.
Okay, I guess.
One track mind. It's just a short walk to my den. The condition isn't great, and I have to tidy it up a bit just so it's recognizable.
What is this?
It's my den! It's where I lived when I first came here.
Whoa.
Impressed? Both Tommy and Gerby inspect my handiwork.
It used to be a lot nicer. Now it's kind of beat up.
I bet I could still fit in there.
Yeah, probably.
Tommy pokes around the entrance for a little bit, clearing away some of the leaves and other stuff that's blocking it.
Do you like your new home more?
At the library?
Oh, yeah. My old house was better, where I lived with Mom and Dad. Dad still lives there, but now Mom has a different place where she lives. I have to go there sometimes.
You don't like it?
I don't want to have two homes. I just want one with all of us. Me, Mom, Dad, and Gerby. Come on, I don't see any butterflies here.
We start walking again, but don't let us get too far from the main path. Tommy and Gerby are still looking around for the butterfly, but I can tell Tommy's heart isn't in it quite as much. I don't have any experience with any of the issues that Tommy's dealing with, or the rest of his family. I feel like I should at least say something.
You know, I'm kind of jealous.
Why?
Because your parents let you have two homes. I spent a long time not even having one home. I don't really count places like my den. That was just a place to stay.
Jasper's, just having some afternoon tea, eating his biscuit.
Until I moved into the library, I didn't have somewhere better. But you get to have two!
What about your parents?
I don't have any. Not the same way you do.
My parents were just boxers, and I barely remember them or even think about them that much.
Even if they don't live in the same place, they both still love you lots, right?
I guess.
I'm not sure if anything I'm saying is helpful. I don't even know how to help Tommy. I am being honest at least. What he has for a family still seems pretty good, even if it's not perfect. In the end, we don't end up finding the magic butterfly. While we're still out looking around, my phone rings. Of course, it's Gwen. I tell her where we are, and she promises to be here soon. When she finally meets up with us, she doesn't even scold Tommy for running off. Just gives him a hug and thanks me. As they go off back to her house, I reflect on what I said. Being a human is tougher than I used to think it was. What Tommy and his family are going through isn't something that I can relate to. But I get the feeling that Tommy is trying in his own way, just like Gwen and Elijah are. Whatever it takes, I hope they're able to figure things out together. I'm not surprised when Aspen doesn't show up for breakfast. Before I fell asleep, she mentioned that she was feeling nervous about her meeting and expected to be up for a while and that she'd probably sleep in. I offered to stay up with her, but she declined, saying that she'd rather use the time to prepare. Her spot at the table is conspicuously empty as Juliet and I eat together, but I'm sure that she'll show up eventually. I keep an eye on my phone for any messages from her, even as Juliet and I clean up and start our days, but I don't hear anything from Aspen. The library gradually gets livelier, and I have my hands full restocking shelves and filling out papers. Finally, some familiar faces arrive, although Aspen's isn't one of them.
Be careful. If you drop it, we'll have to start all over.
It's the kiddos!
I'm not going to drop it. You carry it if you're so worried.
I can carry it if you'd like, Pippa.
It's fine.
I can hear the 3 kids before I can see them, their voice only getting louder when Armand pushes the front door open and holds it for the other 2. You want to go out? Want to go out on the balcony, Jasper? Yeah, alright. Give me a moment. I'll go let him out on the balcony. Alright, I am back. Okay. So, I can hear the 3 kids before I can see them. Their voices only getting louder when Armand pushes the front door open and holds it for the other 2. Hello enters first, followed by Pippa, who has arms wrapped tightly around a box. They've come in every day since we visited the Bell House, so Pippa and Armand still remember me. I didn't explain my magic to them. They just chose to work up here.
Good morning, Ms.
Someone stayed up late. Hello can't help but yawn as she greets me.
Morning. Wow, you guys look exhausted.
Ugh. We are.
Cello and I stayed up all night finishing our project. Armand was only awake for like half of it.
You wouldn't let me touch the models, so why should I have to stay up?
You two, please.
Even Cello seems too tired to put up with her friends bickering today. They both huff, but stop arguing.
It was a long night, but we managed to get done. Since we're going back home tomorrow, we wanted to come show you and Ms. Aspen the final version.
She gave us a lot of advice at the Bell House.
Ooh,
And a lot of free refills.
good on you, Aspen.
Yeah, Ms. Aspen was super nice to us. Is she around?
Nope. I haven't seen her yet today. I think she had a late night too. I'll try calling her.
I'm going to go put this down somewhere.
Good idea.
Yeah, especially if it's heavy and awkward. All three of them go to find a table where they can set up, and I pull out my phone to give Aspen a call. It rings for a long time, and I'm about to hang up when I finally hear the line click.
Hello?
Yeah, she had a bad night. Her voice is so groggy that she was clearly still asleep.
Hi, Aspen. Sorry to wake you up.
Miho? It's fine. Why are you calling so early, though? Is something wrong?
Early? It's almost lunchtime.
Huh?
There's a rustling sound, and then I can hear her groan.
Oh, I was up so late last night.
I remember. Did you get a lot done?
I got a lot of worrying done, at least. That's about it. But I'll be ready for this evening. I didn't mean to sleep through breakfast.
It's alright. Cello and the others are here, though. They finished their project and wanted to show you. But if you're too tired, I can just send you a picture or something.
No, it's alright. I'll come over. I just need a bit to get ready.
Okay. See you soon then.
See you.
I hang up, and then go let the students know what's going on. They wander around the library to entertain themselves while we wait. Finally, the library door opens and Aspen enters, still looking half asleep. She manages to stumble in my direction. I greet her with a big hug.
Good morning. Actually, good afternoon.
Don't remind me. I'm glad to see you, though.
Same.
Miss Aspen, over here!
From their chosen spot, the three kids wave at Aspen.
Miss Aspen makes me sound so old.
Just Aspen is fine. She grumbles quietly enough that only I can hear her, but she puts on a smile as we go over to the table.
Thank you for coming to see us. Were you up late working too?
Something like that, yes. But not as hard as you were, it seems. Congratulations on finishing your project.
Despite her exhaustion, Aspen manages to use her customer service voice and seems genuinely excited for them.
Thanks.
Me and Cello worked really hard on it. I guess Armand helped too.
It was something the three of us all made together. But we wouldn't have been able to do that without visiting the Bell House.
I'm very excited to see. Is it in the box?
Pippa nods. Armand reaches for it, but Pippa pulls the box out of his way.
Here we go.
She carefully unfolds the flaps and reaches in, lifting out their project. Both Aspen and I gasp as we see it. It's a tiny version of the Bell House, about the size of a shoebox. The walls look like they're made out of cardboard or some other material, and the tables and chairs inside are made of clay. Even the stretch of road outside the cafe is included, with the benches and flags and everything else. The smell of fresh paint emanates from the display, along with glue and other craft supplies. This is pretty impressive to me, especially considering that you lot aren't even at home. You're like out on like a week-long excursion or a 2-week-long excursion. So you're probably in like a hotel room or something like that. Congratulations.
It's incredible. Wow.
Yeah, this is amazing.
The school's making the kids work too hard.
Thanks!
Although Pippa sounds gruff as always, I can see her blush before she tries to hide her face. Aspen kneels down to get a better look, inspecting all of the little details.
You even got the bell above the door. How cute.
It wouldn't be the Bell House without a bell.
The plants, too. Great job, everybody.
Cello and Armand beam at the praise. Even Pippa manages a small smile.
Thanks for letting us spend time there.
And for all the coffee.
Of course. I remember the stress of homework and group projects very well. At least your group actually works together, instead of leaving it all for one person.
That's right.
Cello hastily answers, shooting Pippa a look before she can try to challenge it.
Thank you as well, Ms. Miho. We would have never found out about the Bell House if you didn't take us there.
No prob. I'll take any excuse I can to go there.
It's true. I speak from experience.
Hey, you're one of those excuses too.
Oh, I'm the excuse, am I? So it's the free drinks you're really visiting for?
No! You! And the drinks!
Only sometimes. Sometimes you still make me pay.
Sounds like it should be always from here on out.
We both stare at each other for a second before slipping into laughter. It manages to push some of the tiredness out of Aspen's eyes. We chat with the kids for a while longer, swapping stories about Wellington and Amarina, until finally, time for them to pack up and get going. Aspen helps Pippa carefully return their project to its box and close it up. Then, all 5 of us head outside.
Thanks again for all your help.
Yeah, it was really nice meeting you. I hope we can come back to Wellington again sometime.
Me too.
It's bittersweet to think that after this time tomorrow, those two will have forgotten about me. I'm glad I'll remember Aspen, though, and the Bell House, of course.
Yes. I wish we could stay longer, but I also miss home. It's kind of funny. I wasn't sure if I'd miss Amarina or not before we left, but now I definitely do.
Funny how fast that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Take care, all of you. You're always welcome at the Bell House again.
We'll definitely come back if we can.
Her 2 friends nod. Armand scoops down to pick up the box. I notice Pippa tense up, but she doesn't stop him.
Be careful.
I will.
Whoops, I tripped.
Okay, time to go. Goodbye, and thank you again.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Fare thee well. With a final wave, we see them off until they've gone down the path and disappeared from sight. Once they're gone, Aspen slouches, sighing and yawning.
That was nice. I hope they get a good grade on their project.
Definitely deserve a good grade.
They better. It looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna be alright, though? You seem like you're about to fall over.
I'm fine. It was nice to have the distraction for a bit. Now all I have left to do is wait for this evening.
Wanna go in? Or are you gonna wait at home?
I'd rather wait with you, if that's okay.
Of course. I was hoping you'd say that.
Aspen holds out her hand, and I take it. Together, we step back into the library and wait for the appointed hour to arrive. Alright. I think there is a good place to leave things off for the day. Just before she gets to talk with her publisher. That sounds like a good sort of cliffhanger, right? Let me check my save. Yeah, okay. There we go.
Time to take a break.
Yes, indeed it is. Alright. So hopefully that was something that everyone enjoyed. Tomorrow, we are going to be playing a series of roguelites. Reason being, we're going to be celebrating my birthday. It's my birthday tomorrow, and what better way to celebrate than by doing a little bit of a marathon, playing some games I haven't played on stream before, and having some fun. That sounds good, right? As for the rest of the week, what else are we doing? I believe we're playing Terraformers the next day, right? Yes, we're playing Terraformers on the Thursday, and on Sunday, we're going to be playing some Hollow Cure. Now, Saturday, I might be doing a stream with Etten on his channel. We might be doing a Wet Runner stream. We did that previously, but we're going to do another game of that. Okay? So, keep your eyes out for that one. I'll be sure to post on my Discord about it. If it all goes through okay. Okay? Alright. Now, let's go and raid someone now, shall we? Now, I think we should go and raid Dr. Mimi, who is playing some System Shock. Let's go and see how she's going, shall we? No problem, wizard. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Get our raid message up and running. And yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll be playing for a fair bit tomorrow. I'm not quite sure how long I'm going to go for, but like I'm aiming for like maybe 10 hours or so, give or take. Possibly take, but possibly give. We'll see anyway. We'll see how I'm feeling, and yeah. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you all next time. Okay? See ya.